Hey guys, welcome back to the kitchen. We're in here with Chef Dan, and Sous Chef Fergus is around here somewhere.
I think he's eating already.
He's ahead of the game. But today we've got some nice rockfish that Chef Dan actually caught at the inlet the other
My
day.
first keeper rock, so we're going to eat it tonight.
That's good, man. Tell us what we're going to do.
So we have a plan for a crunchy, lemon-coated rockfish fillet that we're going to end up baking after we make a nice little sauce to coat it in and then a breading to put it on. So that's what we're going to work on first, and then I'll show you what we do to the fish.
That's good. Let's get into it.
All right. So the first thing we're going to make is the breading. So I've already melted about a half stick of butter in here. I have a cup of panko breadcrumbs that's going to go into that butter. And then we've got some, I have to double check this recipe because it's very important. I don't want to screw up what goes in what. So, wow, that's actually really easy. Huh. Surprising I forgot all that. All right. To that, we're going to add some seasoning. So we're going to do basically some Old Bay. And feel free to put that liberally in there. We're going to do, this is just some honey sweet herb blend. So it's got a variety of herb flavors in it, things like that. We're going to put some of that in there too. And then, I almost forgot, I want to toss a little Parmesan in there if I can find it. Alright, I'm going to put some Parmesan in here. That always makes for a nice breading. Alright, so now that we have all that in there, we're going to go ahead and just kind of mix this up and let that butter start kind of absorbing into this breading mix. So we want to get this to a point where it can kind of be a little on the creamy side. If we have to melt more butter, we'll do that. We'll do that in a separate bowl and add it. But normally, if you let this sit for a few minutes, once you kind of stir it all up, that butter will do its thing and just start soaking into all of this breading. So we're going to let it do that, see how that ends up looking after a few minutes. Like I said, if we have to, we can throw a little more butter or a little bit of olive oil. We'll also get her done. So we'll set that to the side, let it absorb a little, see where it gets us. Now for our binder. So that's the topping. Now we've got to whip up what it is that we're going to put on the fish itself so that all that goodness sticks to it. That's going to start with some mayonnaise. Use a quality mayonnaise. The better tasting it is, the better it's going to affect that fish when you put it in your mouth.
Now, which one is the quality? We're going to start a debate here.
Okay, so I have recently been influenced by several people that I watch on YouTube that do what we do. One of which is a channel called Tug Trash Outdoors. Awesome dude, definitely check his stuff out. He's from Florida and swears that Duke's is the only mayonnaise in the known universe, and if you don't use this, it's terrible action. So we're going to try it with Duke's and see if it's actually any different in flavor than what us Northerners love to dive into the helmets. We'll find out.
Meanwhile, Sous Chef Fergus is going nuts over here with the squeaker.
Hey, he's totally saying, you know what, I think it's bunk, probably our Hellman's rules, but whatever. All right, we're going to do a little Dijon mustard in here, just about a tablespoon. So I went in with maybe a quarter cup of the mayonnaise, about a tablespoon of the Dijon. We're going to go in with one zested lemon, hence where some of the lemon's coming from in the recipe. All right, and then we're going to add some of that same seasoning that we just did, that herb seasoning, the herb blend, into here. So that's going to be in our coating as well. And so that is just going to take and get mixed up. And really, this is just the binder, something for the breading to stick to, but it is going to add its own flavor to the fish as well. All right. So Checking back on our breadcrumbs. They did do a good job absorbing, but I'm not entirely in love with it. I want it a little more sticky pasty. So what we're going to do, since you know we're all about health conscious on bait watch fishing, we're going to go with a little bit of olive oil into that. Maybe throw about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons in there just to give some extra binding action on these breadcrumbs. And we're going to mix that in until it gets to that sticky consistency we want it to, where we can actually kind of pack it. You want this to be almost like a packable snowball. Not that it's going to pack hard, but it's going to pack enough that it's not going to just fall off the fish when you put it on there. So we're getting there with that. Maybe just a touch more oil. All right. That'll work. I think that's going to be good. So tonight we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a surf and turf. Not only do I have that beautiful rockfish, but I do have some chicken breasts that we need to use up. So they can both cook at the same temperature, just a couple different times. So we're going to actually start by putting the chicken together. We'll throw it on the pan, get that started. And then after a little while, we're going to bring the fish in and do the same thing to it. All right. So let's take our chicken. And parchment paper isn't a necessity, but boy does it help with cleanup. So we will throw that there. Believe me when I tell you, Taste Tester Tina appreciates using this to keep the kitchen a little cleaner. Just a little bit. All right. So, this is about what we want our mix to look like. To make sure it's coated evenly and I'm not making a mess of it, I'm going to take a basting brush and we're just going to paint this onto the chicken for now, and we're going to do the same thing with the fish in a little bit. But for now, to get the ball started, we're going to go ahead and paint up our chicken. And you can lay it on here pretty good. You want the breadcrumbs to kind of stick into this. This is going to bind them to the meat. So don't be afraid to slap it on there. Right, Ferg? Fergus approves. All right. So now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and just take some of our breadcrumbs and we're just going to coat this thing. So we want to just kind of take them. We're going to put them on here first, and then we'll go ahead with our hands and just kind of move them around, get them where we want them. Now we're using panko breadcrumbs. Again, if you'd rather use something different, you can. You can do this with just regular seasoned breadcrumbs, Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. I have seen people take regular butter crackers, crush them up really well and use those. That looks pretty neat. We might do a cook like that at some point. But as you can see, we're just going to basically kind of cover this. Make sure that there's the chromage on everything. A little bit back here. Okay. So we have some crusted chicken breasts at this point. Now, like I said, these are going to take a bit longer to cook than the fish. The fish, maybe 15 to 20 minutes tops. This is probably going to be closer to about 30 to 35. We'll check internal temps, of course, on everything. You always want to do that. So for now, though, we're going to throw this in the oven, let it start doing its thing, and then we'll come back when it's fish time. All right, so we're going to prep our striper, guys. Rockfish, if you want to call it that. Striped bass, if you want to go there.
Stripper if you're bad at typing.
Stripper if you have really fat fingers and you keep hitting the P's when you're trying to text somebody about your glory story, whatever. But in any event, we're going to give it the same treatment we did the chicken. We're going to start with our saucy mix here with the mayo in it. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of baste these things up so that they have that coating on them. And I can tell you from smelling in the background that this is definitely smelling good, what's going on in that oven. So these should come together quite lovely. So we're just going to paint these bad boys up and make sure there's plenty of this on here. Now for this, I definitely want to get all of the area coated on it, all the edges. Unlike the chicken, this fish is going to take this flavor way, way more. And so getting this on here is going to just absolutely add layer on layer of the flavor. So let's get that all coated on there. And get our Duke's mayo and seasonings on here. I really am curious if that's going to make a difference, guys. We might be onto something entirely wonderfully new. But oh yeah, they look pretty. Look at that. Lovely. All right, so they are packed with that goodness now. So it's time to just go back in with our breading. Again, we're just going to put some on here and then we'll pack it on as we go. And just keep adding to it until we've got a really nice thick layer on here on all of these. So again, we're at 425 in the oven. These bad boys should take about 15 minutes to do what they got to do. So that's kind of the general idea. The chicken's been in there for about 20 minutes. It's almost time on that. So we're going to go ahead and just let these two hang out together and do their thing. A little surf and turf, some ebony and ivory action. But that is a really good looking coating right there. I like the look of that. So in the actual recipe, they didn't call for it, but I may stick this under the broiler. I may switch the oven over to broil for a few minutes, just because I really want to toast up this kind of breadcrumby top mixture on here. I think that'll just give us a little extra crunch on there. So we'll see. See what it looks like when the dinger goes off, right? All right. So I think they're about ready. So they're going to go on the same pan as the chicken. So you can see what I did is just cut that piece of parchment paper down. That way I can just literally take this, lift it right on the end of the pan, throw it right back in the oven. They're not going to be out too long. We're not going to have the oven open too long. The last thing I'm going to do is I sliced up the lemon that I had gotten the rind off of. And we're just going to lay some lemon pieces on top of these so that that kind of cooks down through too. That's where we're at for now. All right, guys, so this is what our chicken looks like so far with that coating on it. I'd say that's pretty awesome.
Browning up nicely.
That's looking good. So I'm going to try to open that up just a little bit. But you can see what I mean by now that we have this already in place like this, we can just lift it right onto the end of this pan, hopefully. Boom. Just like that. So now we're going to throw our lemon slices on. That. All right, this is going to go back in 15 minutes. And at that point, the chicken and the fish should all be done. And we got some sides to go with it. It's going to be an awesome dinner party for all of us. All right, guys. Well, I got my lobster claws on, and I think our fish is ready to come out along with our chicken. So let's take a look at this. We're going to pull her out of here. Oh, that smells banging. I think that's going to be perfectly tasty, guys. I think it's going to be all right. So we're working up some sides to go with this. We're going to throw all that together here in a minute, plate these bad boys up, and see what they taste like. We got caprese salad. We got cheddar broccoli and noodles. Why not? Because everybody needs their carbs. And then we got our lovely rockfish. So you can see that looks banging. Look at those beautiful big flakes. What do you think, Fergus? Agree? Yeah, he says that's awesome. Let's take a taste of this. That's really good. Really good, but we won't know until taste tester Tina gets her mouth on it. So,
and I have a lemon with mine to add a little extra flavor.
We need the true culinary expert.
oh yeah, the only one of us that went to school for this kind of thing.
That is excellent. Very good. The breading is perfect and light. And the mayonnaise mixture is light and airy. But you can tell it's there, but it doesn't give you that pungent taste. So it's perfect.
Thoughts on Duke's mayonnaise?
Very good. Duke's mayonnaise, very good.
There's something to it.
There is definitely something
There is
to
something to it. Tug Trash, you're onto something. I give you props where it's deserved, brother. Well done.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So I can't have the fish, but I can have the chicken. So we're gonna try it out. It was really good.
Right? I like that breading.
It has a nice crunchy, buttery flavor to it.
Yeah.
Definitely pairs well.
Yeah. It's awesome. Like the lemon comes through, but like the crunch is there and everything. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I think this is a really great dish. I'm sure the rockfish is awesome with it.
Yep.
Fortunately, I can't find out for you guys, but we trust the experts over here.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, we gotta do sous chef Fergus tasting.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Would you like to give your opinion? Okay. Can you sit? All right. Yeah. Yeah, you want a little more? There it is.
He is literally cleaning the fork,
You
so
like?
I'd say it's approved.
All right. Paul? He said, no, he wants more fish. So sorry, guys. But I think it's approved by the little man. So we're good. See you the next time.
All right, guys. Appreciate you watching. As always, please like, share, subscribe, help us grow the channel. We'll see you the next time.